Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, playing Age of Wonders Planetfall, and this is kind of the first main video of the main campaign, because I'd say the others were either the tutorial or switching between the tutorial and the main campaign. So this is like the first really main video of the main campaign, although I did do a battle in this, and as you will know if you watched, I lost because I didn't really intend to do the battle. But anyway, so here we are in our colony. There it is, and you can see the orange is the colour we are, so that emphasises our borders. If you want, and our colony is called Fandulan, which is kind of long. So if you want to change your colony name, and you may wish to, you can do it very simply. You just go to click on the colony, go along the L1, R1 to the last button. It's the colony centre, and you can change the colony name to whatever you want. Let's just, for the sake of this, we'll call it Guessagaingaming, after Guessagaingaming, I guess. So there you go, there's Guessagaingaming. You can call it anything, you can call it something that's familiar to you, or just make up a fantasy name depending on how you want to do it, or just leave them as they are. But that was kind of long-winded, so Guessagaingaming sounds good. It sounds like our capital, Guessagaingaming. So there we are, that's our capital. Then the next thing we probably want to do is, again, back on the colony. You click back on the colony, and it's got the units we can create, and you can see each unit, it's got a little clock. That's how long it takes to create the unit. The little lightning sign, that's how much power it takes. And you can see, there you go, the little blue is resources. Cosmite is a thing you need to create lots of different units. And at the top, you can see on the top line, we've got 150 of power, energy, whatever. We've got 20 of cosmite. So it's going to use these. You're going to use a bit. As you can see, it also tells you what we're gaining each turn. Some of these things you can gain, especially cosmite, in a lump. You can raid something or find some or get some, but that's what we're going to get without doing anything specific each turn. So we could build this, an Amazon Shrike, and it would cost 30 in energy, but we're going to actually get 66 next turn, so that wouldn't be anything terrible. The colonizer would use 10 in cosmite. We don't need that now anymore. We haven't got anywhere we want to colonize that quickly, and we need to do a bit of research first, as in research of the area. But cosmite's harder to get, so we'll have to think about that. So maybe an Amazon Huntress sounds good. We'll do that one. I like that. That sounds nice. I think they fire poison arrows from memory. So we're making Amazon Huntress. And the next thing you'll want to do is check you're doing research. I think it's the first term when you start the new campaign, you can't do research. Everything in this game is like next turn. So then you can look around and see what's around. So you can click on things. And there you go, that's a sector. It's got some energy production bonuses and some research bonuses and some industry bonuses, and you can just look around and see what there is. There's a few nasty little things. There's one of those buildings, and that's an NPC faction. So there's a few of these in the game. They're not like the other main players, and by main players in this context it's AI, because we're not playing in a multiplayer situation in that sense, so they're just AI other players. But there's also other NPC factions, and they'll give you quests. How it works is they aren't really friendly or not, and they'll tell you to do things like you need to go and rescue this, liberate that, get this energy, and if you don't, they'll gradually dislike you, and in the end you'll have to fight them. So you'll have to decide whether you want to fight them or whether you want to do their quests. So you can sometimes miss a quest and they'll dislike you a bit, but they won't fight you. But at some point, if you keep not doing them, they will end up in a conflict with you. And the fighting them can be quite useful actually, because you gain experience for your troops, and you can sometimes, you always get resources, so it can be useful to do the quests. So sometimes it's worth it, and sometimes it's annoying when you're doing something else, especially later in game when you're trying to fight the main other adversaries, the other AI main players. It's annoying because you don't want to waste your time fighting for these silly little battles for these NPC factions, so you'll kind of want to kill them. But at the moment, we'll just try and keep them sweet properly. Then there's these little areas again. Let's see, remember to click out of your own unit, otherwise you'll end up running over there. So these little things, like there's something there. These production stashes, you just literally need to walk into them and get them. Sometimes you'll find there's an enemy army of whatever it might be there, and you'll have to kill the army. And sometimes they'll just be lying around. So you can look around and see if there's anything specific that you might want to get. So for example, this sector, it has the usual mountain Arctic bits of research, power, industry. It's also got a research station which will give us 10 plus research, but it's occupied, so we'd have to literally go inside and fight it. And as I said in the previous video, those are not easy. So I think to start with, because we're making our other unit, but we've already got a full quota of units, and I think we'll go and kill these bugs. They're on, you can see that those little star things, which means they're on something of value. So we'll kill these bug things, hopefully, because they already killed our other army. So we'll kill these bug things. And, okay, so it says allow them to retreat. So basically, because we already fought them properly as well, and sometimes if the enemy's just completely underpowered to fight you, you get the chance to allow them to retreat, and you get a bonus for that, or you can chase them down, and I always allow them to retreat. I don't see the point to chasing them down, because you never know, you might lose somebody. So there you go, we've gained a colonist from that little area, and then as you can see, the area's gone now because we got the bonus, and that's done. So we can still move a bit, and this is like most games, you get they call it the fog of war, don't they? But it's not really a war, but you get the general idea. So these areas you can't see at all until you get near them, so we'll need to move. Sometimes it's worth, as you can see with our units at the bottom there, if you've got a flying kind of unit, and especially one that doesn't cost much to make. So for example, that flying thing, which I think is, it's an Amazon Strike, it's relatively cheap, it's the cheapest unit we have. It's worth just having a single unit that's a flying unit, because they move faster, to basically fly, different directions. You can have a few of them, fly that way, fly this way, because at some point they'll run into an enemy unit that's overpowered and they'll get killed. So there's no point in sending a whole troop of units flying around just to discover areas. The best way is to send one unit that's expendable, that moves quickly, and at some point it'll run into trouble and die, and then you'll just make another one. So that's what I would advise for that. So we've moved to there, we've got research going. I know it says Van Doolen can annex its first sector, but that's because, as I said, everything in this game is next turn. So let's go to next turn. So there we go, we got next turn. Now remember what I said, we don't want to this moment anyway, but you can't make a new colony that's right next to your old colony. It can be next to the borders of the annexed parts of your colony, but not next to the central part. So we'll need to annex something before we consider where we make a new colony. You can see these mountains there, so that's like an awkward little journey. They do use more movement points going over difficult terrain, mountains, things like that, so that's not very appealing. That looks a much more appealing kind of area. We can annex another colony at the moment, but we don't really want to, because we want to kind of see what's available. And first thing to remember is always check that box in the top left corner where it's got the two little research things, and if you haven't got anything showing as counting down to research, it means you're not doing any. So you always want to be doing research, and there you go, we've got options. Heavy laser, that sounds good. Let's do that. Oops, forgot to do the other one. And then society research, verdant awakening. Yeah, that sounds good. There's an aquatic one in, I think, most of the factions, but unless you're right next to the sea and you really want to explore the sea very quickly, I would leave that one as the last one you do of at least the first row. So there we go, we've got our research going. Now, we were going that way, but I think we're going to go and check this way, because if you look around the map, it's quite possibly something highly useful over there. Something that, again, that way might be useful, but again, you've got mountains and that's going to be more hard to traverse. Actually, we could go and get our, let's go, I'll tell you to get the bonus, because it's very simple. So we just go there and you can see we get the Imperial Production Stash, take the materials 44. So it's very simple and we get free stuff. So that's always good. And actually now we're there, we'll probably go around that way. So you can only annex a colony that's annex a region, sorry, a sector that's actually adjacent to your current colony. So I think that's what we can do this turn. So we'll skip. Unknown commander means the other enemy players, the AI players, because we haven't met them yet, so we don't know who they are. You will get to meet them. It's usually a point where it says something like you've encountered the player and you can decide to be rude or say nothing or be friendly, and that will last for a bit, but at the end of the day they want to win, so at some point they'll all turn on you like they do. So let's just check what that is. A sector, that's quite an interesting sector. We might go and fight that actually. Always remember when you, so we've created a unit there, so there you go, we've got our Amazon Huntress. If you create a unit in your colony and you leave it there and then you create another, they'll join into the same army, so you might sometimes want to move around. So we've got her, we can leave her there to defend the settlement. I want to make one of those see, I didn't check out my unit, there you go, I told you that's the most easy thing to do in this game. So I think we want to make one of these bird things, because we can then, like I said, fly around a bit quicker and just take a look around what's over the mountains maybe. With our main army, we're going to come down here and we're going to attack these, whatever they are. And again, they ran away, so that's handy. They're marauders and there's only 3 of them. Sometimes they fight even if you're 3, and sometimes they might be a very strong 3, but they're going to run away, so let's let them run away. And we got some research for that, and we'll have that. And that's all we can move anyway this turn. So we'll end our turn. And as you can see, the early kind of part of the game is pretty straightforward. Okay, so what this is Paragon is that place I looked at earlier, that other faction, NPC faction base, research station that they control, and that's what I said, they'll just appear. There's usually 2 other factions, NPC factions that aren't the main other players, and they'll just appear, and they'll, there you can see, they will, you know, we can start diplomacy, and we get a bit of a quest from them, maybe, in a minute. And that's what they'll usually do. They'll probably give us a quest next turn or something. And so there you go, with more interesting things down here. Again, we don't know, sometimes you can't tell if something's guarded or not, but we'll go and have a look. And we see what that is. That's a Paragon barracks. That's a barracks for that faction, that NPC faction. It's occupied. If we go in there and took over, we get 10 energy, and we get a bonus of 10 industry. And as you can see, any light units built in the colony get extra shielding, but then that will obviously start a war with them. And like I said, anything that means entering one of these buildings is quite a battle usually. And we're not, particularly, you might think that we look like we're leveled up because we made some beetles run away, but don't be fooled, because beetles are not enemy NPC factions. So we're here, and we will go and liberate these supplies because they're for free. We get 25 energy, again nothing amazing, but then click out because I don't want to move there particularly, see what's there. It's another, it's a potential colony location, there's no dangers there, it's the usual research, food, but we're going to look around a bit more before we decide where to lay our hat, so to speak. We haven't got a coloniser yet anyway. Again, we've got that bird thing now, so what we're going to do with our bird, I'm going to call it a bird, I know it's not, but it is a kind of bird. We're going to, as you can see how far that moves in one turn, it goes much further than our regular army because it's flying. So we send our bird thing that way, so have a look and see what's over there. And while we've done that, as I said, click out a bird thing, we'll make another bird thing. Because they're cheap to make, they don't use much resources, we're making more than they cost in one turn, and then we can send that one a different direction just to check out the lay of the land. We're still researching. Oh no, we finished researching, so there you go, it's telling us we finished researching. Sometimes you won't look at that, so it's always good to check in the little top corner. So let's see what we've got.
Lasers are fast, accurate, and leave
okay, so we've got a tactical thing option for battle, which I showed you in the other videos if you're watching. I'll show you again when we play a battle, and that's a laser strike. And we've got a unit mod, and unit mods you can put onto your leaders, or you can put onto a different type of troop. And it says select new research, which we will. Biochemical application sounds good. Society, we've done that one. Yeah, we want that because that's standard military infrastructure, and that's the thing that gives us a better kind of guard at home. And that, I think, is ops ready to prime. What that means is, okay, so you get these, you get tactical, which are things you can only initiate while you're in a battle, and that's tactical. And so we can't do anything with that until the battle starts. And we've got strategic, which are things you can initiate at any point, and you have to initialize them, as it said. So it tells you what it will cost in power and time, and you can see what you get. And it'll end up being a lot of these. And sometimes they're worthwhile, sometimes you won't think they're worthwhile at the beginning and they'll be worthwhile later on. Sometimes they're not worthwhile at all, sometimes they're obviously worthwhile, and you'll have to pick and choose which one depending on which faction you're playing and what kind of places you've uncovered. Some will benefit different types of locations, so ecological warfare, units melee, attack, have a strength. Well, that sounds good. I mean, there's no question that having highest biological attack strength is going to be a good thing. That's obviously a good thing. And non-mechanical units heal an additional 6, so that is obviously something worth doing. So we'll initialize that, and then we'll end our turn. And it's always good to, especially with all these different things, operations they're called in the main. In the screen, so it's operations those things come under, and it's always good to be initializing them when you don't need them, because especially the ones that are involving things you might want to do later on, things you might want to do to somebody else later on, it's good to have them ready, because you can't just use them from the operations. You'll have to initialize them first. So always remember you need to initialize them, and if you do initialize them and then you use them, you'll have to re-initialize them to use them again. So you need to kind of be on that. It's not complicated, it's just one of those little things to remember. So we're going to go here. I don't know what that is. Let's go there and see. Oh, it's an enemy. Okay, that's nice. Let's see what kind of enemy it is without fighting it straight away. Doesn't look particular. You can see at the bottom it says Army Marauder, and their army power is 340 and ours is 805. So we should be able to kill that, and we can allow them to retreat. So a lot of them are running away. I have to say that when I first played this, they didn't run away at all much at the beginning. That was only later on when I had lots of more powerful armies, so I don't know why they were running away now. But anyway, we gained a colony from that little encounter. I let my auto AI manage the colonists. You can do it yourself if you wish, but I can't be bothered to manage every colonist and put them into different places. So where's our bird? And we've got our bird thing. We want to have a look around. You never know what you might find. You might find out where the enemy, at some point you'll find out where the enemy AI players are. I mean, not yet, because they've probably only got one sector or one colony as well, but later on when they've got bigger areas, you'll end up seeing their borders. So we want to see what that is. Yeah, that's quite a nice, but it's far, so we'd have to build some bits in between. I would suggest you don't start building colonies too far away from your first colony, because I mean, when I was doing it, what I was doing was I was building annex sectors. For example, I build one here and maybe one there, and then I build a colony there. You can build colonies almost anywhere, but if you have a large space between your different colonies with not your controlled area in between, number one, it's a long way to move troops backwards and forwards if you need them, and number two, you've got no way of knowing later whether one of the AI players won't build in between, and then by going in between you'd be causing a territory breach and cause a war. So you have to kind of balance what you're doing, and I would suggest at least until you've kind of played through this a little bit, you don't start building colonies all over the place, because it's not. You can claim areas and do that as well. So let's see. We won't fight him. We're just a bird, but okay. We've still got more movement. Like I said, these flying units.
Imperial defenses are remnants of Star Union planetary.
Yeah, okay. So there's something there. You can see there's an Imperial defence, and that's not just a soldier, that's also that is probably some kind of, well, you can see it looks like a anti-aircraft thing. So there's bonuses for taking them, or you can destroy them. There's a huge amount of these remnants of other eras, these old bases, research centres, these amusement parks, these different military installations, these all manner of things. So I can't even describe them all. I'm sure I've not even seen them all. So you can click through your units by pressing R1. So there we are. There's our main unit. What's this? So there's always new. So that's okay. That's interesting. That's NPC army in a settlement, so that's interesting, because if you take over a NPC settlement, I'm not talking about the main AI player settlement because that's a big war, but these minor settlements, that can be very beneficial because you get a kind of free colony, and if it's not a colony that's in your faction, this one looks like it is actually. I think she looks like she's a Amazon. But anyway, if you get a colony that's not from your own faction, you end up having a colony that has other units as well, so that can be useful. You might consider attacking that, maybe. Think about it. So we're still making our bird. I think we will move our Amazon spare unit that way, just to get them ready, and I think we'd probably consider attacking that, you said, that. So that's it for this turn. And as you can see, you can get through, it's literally luck. I mean, we've got through quite a bit of movement in this doctrine enacted. That means that's that thing in operations we initiated, it's now ready to use. And we produced another, which I will be referring to as the bird thing, as I said, which we will send in that direction. To check out what, I like the flying animation, that's cool. Again, we can't merge our units because you can only have 6 in each, but you can still use 2 armies at the same time. So we'll gradually go that way. What we won't do, if you are waiting for another unit, I would suggest you don't go right up to somebody else's army because they might attack you before like our other unit there joins us. So we don't really want to create another unit at the moment. Then we can look at whether we can build anything interesting, and we can build a military skirmisher barracks, and we can get an Amazon Lancer, that sounds good, or we can build that and get an Amazon Biomancer, that sounds good as well. Well, we'll probably do both, but let's do that one first. So there you go. And yeah, like I said, it's really, we'll skip this one, it's really luck. Okay, I'll come to that in a minute. It's really luck because we've got through most of this so far, quite a lot of turns actually, considering how it went in my first playthroughs, and we haven't actually had to fight a battle because basically everyone ran away, and this is going to be the same because one of our bird things, as you can see, and I said that would happen, you end up encountering impossible battles where there's no point in fighting. Sometimes it gives you the option to retreat, sometimes it doesn't. In this one we can retreat, so we will. Because there's no point in dying for the sake of it. Sometimes you can't retreat and you just die. But like I said, this is a unit that's not particularly strong that we're just using for exploration. I don't think it actually is a scout unit in this game, so you have to improvise. So there's that, there's that. Actually run out of points, so we'll skip the turn. But yeah, it really is, you know, it can be, you could end up in a very early turn, you can end up in your second or third turn fighting a battle.
All rival commanders and native NPC factions you encounter.
Okay, so that's another thing I told you will happen. You meet Roto Kozrak, very impressive name. And what that is it's when it says you meet someone, it means it's somebody, one of the AI main other players. So that's who that is, and it would say show where we met. I don't really know why you'd want to know that. I suppose it's because you might know where they are, but and you can say different things. Stay out of my way, which makes them angry. You can say nice to meet you, or you can just ignore that or whatever. So we'll say nice to meet you because we don't really want to be rude to them. We could start a war, but again, it's a bit early. I mean, again, it may not be early, but if we started a war now, they won't be hugely prepared either, but that's all balance and play styles and everything. So we'll say something nice, we'll compliment them. Yeah, we want to compliment them, it's no harm. And they're nice, they're happy to meet us, and that's made them 100 points happier to know us. I mean, again, it's all superficial because, you know, as with real politics, they all say one thing and really it doesn't mean that at all. But it's good to, you know, not get into a battle until you're prepared, and we've only got one sector and one colony and no sectors yet, so there's no point to getting ahead of ourselves. But as with every game ever of any type, to see what's there, there's a lot of food production there. Yeah, as with any game ever, you have to pick and choose between the time when you're not quite ready and the enemy aren't quite ready, or when the enemy are completely ready and you're ready because they'll be more ready as well. So it's never easy to decide when to start a war with anybody, and that's every game from the original Total War kind of games. You never know when you need to attack somebody because you don't want them to get as leveled up as you, but equally you don't want to be under leveled. So there's not really a spying option in this game as such, at least not early on. There are mechanics later on where you can do things like that, but by then it will matter less. So Okay, so I think we're gonna attack this. We'll move that one there. No, and that's that thing where it's so easy to do. It may just be me, but I can't count how many times during each game I click in and out of different units by mistake. So now we've got, as I said, if you've got two units next to each other, that will mean if they're attacked now, they'll both fight together. So if they're on adjacent squares, they'll fight together. So we can wait on them. If they jump out now and attack us, we've got two units together. They are 650 in power and we are 805 plus 100. So we're not hugely over leveled. We might wait for our new unit recruitment area and get another unit. We don't really want to do anything risky. And then we've got our bird friend, which we'll send around to see what's going on over here. And it's always, I mean, after every game again, same. It's always good to scout around everywhere. You may find, like I said, you may find the AI players, you may find another NPC faction, you may find an facility, you'll find these storage dumps, you may find a facility that's really, really useful. There's a few that are very useful. I think they have, I'm trying to think now, I think they have, yeah, you can see on the top of that, there's a little, on the very left where it says Trace Blown Transmutation Institute, just on the top of that thing where it says what that is, there's a little icon that's a little kind of column and it's a bronze colour, and the value of these facilities comes in bronze, silver, gold. And there are some that are very good. There's one that's like a leisure park and you get loads of bonuses for it. So sometimes you'll get a research bonus and an energy bonus, which is like, yeah, okay, that's good. But sometimes there's ones that give production bonuses, they give buffs to your troops, they'll give you everything, loads of bonuses. So you might find one and think, I really want that. In fact, I have found one before that I thought I really, really wanted. And again, we've got more flights available. So we'll fly over there. Let me just see what that said actually, because I was clicking too quickly. Okay, so another thing you can do is you can build a forward base. And it says exactly what that is. You claim the sector and you can build a forward base. It means you've kind of got some troops in exactly what it says, a forward base. It doesn't collect any income, you don't get any resources for it, but it means you've kind of claimed it and it makes it slightly easier. So you can, there's no line of sight in the context if you don't have to build one next to your sectors, you can build them anywhere. Sometimes later in game, especially later in game, you'll find that some other sectors claim them and then you can decide whether you want to dispute one or not. But yeah, you can, and you have to have one of your units on the square to do that, but we could claim that if we wanted. I mean, it's quite a way away. I'll think about it for next turn. And where's our other bird? There. So actually, what we would do, we'll end that, and then what I remember. Yeah, so there's lots of little bits. None of these things take that much getting used to, but there are lots of little mechanics with, I suppose, all games, but especially with games that have got a kind of fighting and a kind of civilization building aspect. There's quite a lot of different mechanics to control and think of. So I'll show you what this is. So there's our bird over there. We've got our right bird and left bird. So what we'll do, I'll show you that. We'll go to this and we'll build a forward base. Oh, I'm going to just put that. When you do click on it, it doesn't click anyway. So we'll go there and we'll build a forward base. Always bear in mind, you see that third icon past on the top line where it's got energy, cosmite, and the third one, which I can't remember what they call it now, but that green circle, you need that. It's like a thing you get for being friends and doing positive things and You'll get that a lot when you make friends with different units and do their quests and stuff. So you need those to keep building these bases. So you will go through those quite a lot. Sometimes you can kind of buy yourself out of situations by using those as well. So you don't want to just throw them away. Again, remember, keep in mind all your resources for whatever you're doing, because they're not endless, and you don't want to suddenly realise you're running it. Everything you do in this game is a cost somewhere. So we've got that sector. There you go. We've not got it in the context of we haven't got a sector yet, but we've claimed it, and we've got a base there. If anyone else wants to claim it, they'll have to go through us. Then we've got our other bird. That one's gone quite a way actually. So what we'll do? No, we don't want to claim that. We will come back round this way, because as I said, there's a limit to how far we can always explore later further when we've got a bit of a bigger area under our control, when we've got another sector or something. So we don't necessarily want to be flying off into the distance, but that won't really benefit. And one of these things might attack us and then we'll run away or die, but nah. So we've done that, we've not checked our research. I'm not even sure if that ran out this time or not, but anyway. So we will research something new. Phase manipulation. Phase walk modulator. That sounds nice, I like that. And we don't care about that aquatic one yet. Deploy monitor. No, they're all right, we do those. So we've done that. Then we will go back to Guessagaingaming, where I now know we've made our new structure. So we can make another one, which is that one to create the other unit, or we can do a improved military infrastructure, and we can get laser turrets. Out of those two at the moment, I would suggest that the training is more important, although it's good to have this, because if you're attacked it's very useful, but you don't get your main colonies won't be attacked early. Well, I've never found so let's build that so we can get a biomancer. And knowing that we've got a new unit, which is the Amazon Lancer, which I've never played at all. It's a tier 2, so it's better, as you can see, because it's better. It costs 70 in energy to make, and we're only making 40, so it's expensive, but yeah, let's have one. And then what we'll do is, once we've made that, we will send our Amazon Lancer down to join these, and we'll try and take over that colony. So okay, so we've gone through a lot of structures of the game, different things you need to do early on, different things that can happen. One of the things that's not happened is a battle, but actually that's not a bad thing, because to be honest, if you watch the earlier videos and you saw the battles in tutorial, that's a battle. I mean, of course they're different each time, because in this will be different enemies. There's lots and lots of different enemies in this game. There's all these bug things and these different NPC factions, then there's the main player AI, but once you've seen a battle, that's kind of how they play out, regardless of what the units are. That's how you handle them. So it's fine that we actually just went through some of the game mechanics, to be honest. So anyway, I'll cut this video for now, and in the next video we will be attacking that place. What's it called? I can't even see what it's called. We'll be attacking there in the next video. So thanks for watching, and take care for now. Bye.